All right, everyone. I am so excited today to welcome a good friend, former client, amazing entrepreneur, Michelle Shipp, with us today on the Keeping It Real with Shayna podcast. I've known Michelle for, I guess, over a year now. We've been kind of friends and entrepreneurial buddies and kind of working through the same kind of things. We're both network marketing leaders, both have other businesses we run as well. And so I'm excited to have Michelle share with you guys today her journey through network marketing and owning two businesses, as well as being a mom and a wife and all the things that we like to keep real here on this podcast. So Michelle, I'm just going to give a little intro and then I'm going to let you take the floor. But Michelle, you guys, she is a strategic network marketing business and brand coach. She's also a mompreneur. She inspires female entrepreneurs to master their mindset, monetize their personal brands while staying in alignment with their truth, which is so awesome. I love all of that. You guys, she is a top producer and leader in her network marketing company, and her mission is to train and empower thousands of female entrepreneurs to be, do, and have more success in both life and business. And isn't that true? We want it in both. We can't just have it in one because then we're not balanced, right? So Michelle, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
I am just, I'm honored. I'm so, like, we should have done this long time ago. I'm so excited to have you on here and share. And I love to start this podcast with your story. So, take us back to those days where, you weren't into network marketing yet. You weren't an entrepreneur. How did this all come up for you and what made you decide to go for it?
Right. So back when I started network marketing, it was back in 2012. And just to kind of give you some backstory on that, I was totally green to this type of industry. I didn't even think that I would actually do some type of, pyramid type thing you always hear. But where I was in my life, I was recently laid off my former job. I used to work in human resources for many years, very loyal, but then they had a sudden layoff. And so at that point in time, I was just thinking, okay, where am I going to go next? So I was totally in that job mentality where I said, I'm going to go ahead and get another job. And that's all I knew of, right? But then after like so much interviews and just that long search, I just didn't really find something that was good for me because I had little ones. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it didn't really make sense because I had 3 little ones at the time. And then I was expecting my 4th. Oh, so wow. It didn't really make sense to go back to job and spend most of my salary just to pay for a daycare and miss out on all the moments. So I just said, something, I'm not going to do this. So I'm going to look for something to do from home. But then I bumped into so much, illegitimate stuff online. And then I bumped into a friend of mine she was a mompreneur as well. And she introduced me to this industry. And she was with a company and she had little ones and then she was doing well. So I said, okay, I'll get started, but I need to deliver this baby first. I was just in that mindset. I need to get this baby out of my body, out into the real world, and then start. So that's what I did. So soon after I delivered my 4th daughter, I have all girls, my 4th daughter, I said, okay, I'm in, I'm going to go for it. And so at that point in time, I said, no more for working for a job, working in an employer, but I said yes to working for myself. So I said, I jumped all in, and then I said, okay, now how do we do this thing? And I thought initially my thoughts was I'm going to just do this until I find maybe like something better, because I didn't really see the potential and all that it had in place for me. So I said, I'll do it temporarily. Maybe it's going to add to my resume or something. Because still I was in that job mentality, right? Yeah. She kept saying, no, it's a business. There's so much growth. And I said, okay. So I was rolling with it. And then I got my first check, and then I got my check after that, like within the first, I would say 4 or 5 weeks, I got my check and another check. And I said, wow, I can really see myself making money here. So I said, okay, I'm going to jump all in. And then I just promoted like every year, basically I was promoting up in the company. And I was grateful because I was doing it all from home with my little ones. And that was really important for me. I was grateful to work the business and learn how to do like online marketing strategies to build it on the internet and then really using social media as well. So I had to, number one, increase my skill set to know exactly how to effectively market myself online, the business opportunity and all the services that we had. And then really just try to get myself out there more so, because I was really shy when I first got started. I was just like, just a mom who was nursing a little one. I was potty training my 2-year-old. I had a 6 and a 8-year-old, and I was a wife. My husband had to travel overseas temporarily at the beginning. So I was a single mom temporarily in the wintertime, but I was determined. I said, I need to make this happen. With a family of 6, it just wasn't enough just having my husband's income. So that's what made me just laser focused. And I was grateful to be partnered with a great company, great teammates, and I learned everything to do it on the internet. So it kept it gave me the ability to build this right alongside my kids without missing a beat of their childhood, right? And I loved, going, still working my business on my laptop, but going to the meetings and going to like the school events, and that just really meant the world to me because I never was able to do that when I had my other 3 daughters. So this was life-changing for me.
And that's the thing, if we can get that message out, like as I started my business on maternity leave too, and to be able to like, no, okay, first of all, I wrote down in giant letters as you were talking, no excuses. Like when you hear Michelle's story and, brand new baby, like potty training, 2 other ones, husband traveling, all the things, and still being able to make it work. Like no excuses. Like if you want it bad enough, you figure it out. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Which is what you did. Exactly. I love that.
Right.
No, I love that. And if we could educate more, and I mean, men, amazing. We love them in our business. It's amazing. Network marketing is an opportunity to empower women to be able to have both, be home with their kids and make a living and contribute. Right.
Right.
And absolutely. I think that's the big message, how do we got to get that out there to the world, which is what we're doing.
I know.
I love that. So what was your biggest, like when you were looking at joining, like, cause we all have those fears. So what was like your biggest fear initially when you just said yes? Cause that moment when you like sign up and hit the button and you're kind of like, oh crap, now what? What was that for you?
Right. Worthiness, who's actually going to buy from me? Who's going to actually join my team? I'm totally new, totally green. How am I going to be able to effectively get this information out there, transfer my belief and my excitement of the services and the business opportunity to others, right? So what I did initially, since I didn't feel worthy, I kind of leaned on other people's stories and I got totally engrossed in the company events and the conference calls and the Zoom calls, all of that, to just learn from other women and try to use their belief and their excitement, their stories, and instill it into myself. And then it helped me create that bigger vision for myself to say, wow, if they can do it and they're mompreneurs just like me, why can't I do it, right? It's just a matter of time if I just stick with myself and keep going. So that's kind of like the mindset that I had at that point in time. But definitely worthiness. I didn't feel worthy. But I had to kind of learn from others and see that it is potential if I just stick with it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of new people feel that, right? It's like, who am I to do this? And then who's going to like buy from me? I'm not a salesperson. I'm not this or that. Right. And so I love that you say that you leaned on the people that were successful in your industry, because all companies have those success stories. And I know it was the same for me. We used to get them in our orders. They were printed out and it was success stories of people who were just like me, who had started their businesses. And I was able to read those and go, if she did it, I can, And so it's so important to plug into the company and the resources that they offer. And that's why they have those things there, especially when you're new and green and don't really know what you're doing. I love it. Now, one of the things that you mentioned is that you had to do this online, obviously, because you had so much going on family-wise that you didn't have a lot of spare hours in the day to be gone from the kids, and not to mention no help as well. So what was like one of the first things you did to kind of build that online piece of your business for those that are listening going, oh my gosh, that's me?
I know, exactly, right. Well, I had to learn how to advertise and craft out ads, like copy, that is attracting to other people with graphics and things. At that point in time in 2012, video wasn't really the thing like nowadays. It was just more like pictures, graphics, wording. So I had to learn how to really tighten up my verbiage inside advertisements and just some of the messages that I shared with people. In addition to that, I had to really learn how to prospect and say the right words. There's things that you're supposed to say and not really supposed to say. So I need to learn how I can craft a nice like invite to someone that's kind of leaning towards what their needs are, right? So I had to just really sharpen my skills, and I was grateful that the company had that in place. And best of all, I could do it right from my home. And I remember it clear as day, staying up late at night, nursing my little one at the laptop, like maybe 2 a.m, learning these things, right? But I was never the person that kind of overthought or overanalyzed. I'm just like the one, I did it, I learned it, but I quickly applied. And so I think because of that mindset, I just kind of moved up pretty quickly within the company and got results very quickly. And then I learned from my mistakes. You know, I was like, I remember you said at one time, ignorance on fire. You know, I just did it and I messed it up, and I did it again. I corrected it, and I just kind of just rolled with it, regardless of what was going on.
And I want everybody who's listening right now to hear this, because I think this is one of the most important things when it comes to building any business, but especially a network marketing or an online business. A couple of things. One, you have to do it wrong first. You have to put yourself out there and do it and do it wrong and learn from that, and then readjust and do it again. And do it again, right? Like you said, you were doing things, you were just kind of reading things, putting it out there, seeing what worked, adjusting, tweaking, doing it again. Right. And I think that is one of the biggest things, because I think what happens a lot of times in this industry is that we put ourselves out there and we do something wrong, it doesn't get the results, and so we feel like we're not good enough, so we shouldn't do it, and we stop. And it's actually the exact opposite. Everybody, like even the most successful people you see in your company or online or wherever, they've all done it wrong first. And that's how they got to where they are, right? That's how you became a top leader, is that you sacrificed, you made the decision, you were doing it, you put the time in, you did it wrong, and you just kept going and doing it over and over again. I think that is such an important point for everybody to hear. That we all do it wrong first. We're all throwing stuff. It's like throwing the spaghetti at the wall and seeing
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
And you still did the research though, and did the work and did the training and applied what you learned. And I think decision is another thing. You said you were decisive, you know, you made the decision, you're going to do it, out it goes, and then do it again.
Right. And never overanalyze.
Yes. No. Because you overanalyze yourself into not taking action, because you just procrastinate. I love that. So you got these ads working, then you know the social media game changes so quickly. So how did you keep up with that? Like, because in 2012, like you said, there wasn't video, and then all of a sudden the video piece came in. Like, how were you transitioning through all of this stuff?
Oh, so I feel like there's one constant theme. It's just that I have to continuously keep being uncomfortable, being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So just launching the business was one step with me being really uncomfortable, but I knew it was the answer to where I needed to head towards. And then learning how to do marketing on the internet was another thing. Learning how to prospect, and I did mostly cold markets. I didn't really do warm market stuff. This is just totally cold market. So that's a little uncomfortable initially. And then kind of when the whole social media changed into like attraction marketing and personal branding, like around 2014, 15, and 16, I said, well, time to do it again, Michelle, time to get uncomfortable. And I had to jump into it. So yeah, I did my research first about how to do like online attraction marketing, how to leverage social media to act in my favor. I had to jump in. I researched a little bit, but I had to jump in pretty quickly. I said, I see where a lot of people are going now. And I said, I need to head that same direction, because that's the way of the future. And that's where I need to be. And since my business is completely online, this is where my followers and my, people need to be as well. So I just jumped into that. And that's when I started like doing videos, like around 2016, actually.
Yeah, that's when we met, 2016-ish, around there. Is when I started. It was video. Video was just hitting the thing. And so I love that you say, like, because when things change, like, we have to take responsibility and research it. Like, so you're online finding the education, right? I'm assuming you were searching like social media, how to do these things. Did you take courses? Were you just finding, free resources? Like, how did you?
Yes. I was always the type of person who invested into myself with personal development, not only just gaining mindset, but also skill-based training. Cause I always want to up my game, because I knew as a leader, my team's going to duplicate me. So I wanted to make sure I had all the at least the basics in place to help them build on their knowledge.
Yes.
So yes, I invested into courses, social media. Like first was Facebook ads. I had to learn about Facebook ads and how to set them up and do all of that. And then I took courses on attraction marketing, like how to learn how to leverage your own personal brand to attract people who are like very like-minded, just like you, kind of calling in your tribe, like they call it. So I had to learn to do that. And that really helped me up my game so much and really bring the voice, my own voice, to my business, where I remember at the beginning stages, yes, I was leaning on other people's stories, but I wasn't really sharing Michelle. Who was Michelle? My message, my voice, all of that was not there. So when I really stepped into attraction marketing, personal branding, it really became more of me. This is Michelle, the entrepreneur, the mompreneur, right?
I love that.
Yes. And so I think I started feeling more comfortable after I started doing a couple videos and seeing that people, wow, they may not be on live, but that's okay. I knew the magic was going to happen on the replay. And when I see people saying, yes, that really helped build my confidence. And I said, I got to do it again. And I started doing that weekly, basically, just creating content that I feel other people could benefit from and help them, and just really change my mindset to that serving type of mindset. And that was a game changer.
So many great things that you just said in there that, as network marketers, because there are lots of us out there, where there's lots of us from the same companies. And so if we brand ourselves as our companies, it saturates that company, where when we come out as ourselves and we brand ourselves as entrepreneurs, and part of what we do, and one of the things we love is our company, then people get attracted to us first, know, like, and trust us. And then we can make the recommendation about our product or our thing. And they're going to go, oh yeah, okay, I want to try that, or I want to learn more. Or, yeah, I'm interested in another stream of income, because they get to know who we are. And I think that's so important as entrepreneurs in the network marketing world, to make sure that we're branding ourselves and not our companies. Because I think that was a mistake we had made as social media was coming up. We were all, everybody's Facebook profile was their company logo, and it was product, right? And it's like, we've learned now that doesn't work. People don't want it. They want to know who Michelle is. They want to know what makes Michelle tick and what she likes. And then your tribe gets attracted to you through that method. So I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. So when did you start? Because now you have you have your network marketing business, but another stream of income is your coaching business. So when did the idea come up to start that business? Because that's awesome. A lot of us are doing that.
Right. So I think it was right around the time I started personal branding. And when I started gaining traction with a lot of people checking out my videos, checking more about what Michelle's about. And when I seen that I could really add value to other people's lives outside of my own team and company, and people were reaching out to me, sending me DMs and things like that, that got me excited. And it just got me thinking if I'm able to impact these maybe 100 viewers right now, what happens if I do it more consistently, adding more in-depth value? Like how much, how can I leverage this? And so I said, maybe I should step into maybe training and coaching some of these women, especially when I first got that first DM saying, Michelle, they may not be so interested into my business, my network marketing company, but they're already in a business and they're looking for help, because they're feeling stuck. And sometimes people just need more clarity, understanding, learning how to market themselves online the right way. Maybe they're used to doing the offline thing for so long. So they started reaching out to me, and then she was like, do you do any coaching, by the way? And I didn't do any coaching. I was just telling her, oh, you need to click on this and go on that. And then I was like, I need to actually make some money off of this, because I can definitely see how this can grow and expand. And so I had to be uncomfortable again and be comfortable with being uncomfortable and jump into that.
Yes.
And I feel like that was really my calling, really coaching. And because yes, I coached a pretty large network marketing team. But with that, it's some limitations. I feel like I can impact so many more lives, so many other mompreneurs, lady bosses who are doing similar, businesses in direct sales, network marketing, and help them kind of get more clarity, unstuck on where they are to get them to the next level. And that's all through social media, basically. So that's how I jumped into coaching.
Yeah. And that's awesome. And I think that's like the universe divinely guides us, you know, and I think a lot of network marketers get the taste of being an entrepreneur through their
Right.
network marketing company. It opens them up to like, what else is possible? Like, what else could I do? You know, you see how you can build online. And I think there's so much opportunity that hasn't even been tapped yet in the online market space.
Yes.
That, you know, like there are countries all over the world are starting to even just get online now, you know, and so there's so much opportunity for us to serve and have impacts in a bigger way. So I love that opportunity came knocking and you listened, you know, it's like you have to listen to those things when they come to you because they're coming to you for a reason.
Right.
And like the theme here I'm hearing, because this is multiple times, is about getting uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, about listening to those things and then, you know, feeling that like, ooh, you know, that sense of you wanted to do it. It's exciting, but yet it's a little bit scary.
Scary, right.
The
like
scary
that
part.
phrase,
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
phrase, let fear be your compass, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that fear was, I had to push through it because, you know, on the other side of that fear was where all the magic happened, right?
Yes. So tell us about that, pushing through that fear. What was that like for you?
Oh my God, just hitting live, going on live was just like, oh my God, the first time I did a live, I remember it clear as day. You know, I stalled the whole day, and then it was like 8 o'clock at night. I knew I had to get the kids to bed, but I made it to do. I said, I have to do this live. So I told the kids, please be quiet. Mommy has to do a Facebook Live. So you guys can stay up an extra 20 minutes late, but you have to be quiet. So I had to bribe them so I could do this. And then I sat on the floor in the bedroom of my daughter's bedroom, and I just held up with my hand and like, hi, this is Michelle. And just doing that. But I'm so grateful that I did, and the kids were happy as well because they got to play around the other room. But I'm grateful because it opened up the doors to so much more opportunities and the growth of just the Facebook Live. So I didn't even know how to do a live. You know, I had to invest in another course on how to do Facebook Lives and that training. You know, what to do before, during, after, and what type of content to actually share that will relate, you know, for my audience. So I had to learn all of that, but I had to get through that fear, and I'm happy that I did. But it wasn't easy, but just worth it.
It's totally worth it. And I think that fear, it's like the only way that you can get rid of it is to do the work, is to actually face the fear and go through it. It's the only way, or else it haunts you. Cause like you're constantly, like you said, you procrastinate all day, and it's that fear is like nattering in your brain, like, oh, you got to go live. I know you're scared. And then it's not until you actually do it that you go like, okay, the fear's gone now. I mean, it doesn't make it totally gone, but it's not there nearly as much the next time you want to do the live or the thing, right? So it's not nearly as scary. And now I find like live video, I mean, between Instagram, I mean, Insta stories, that's where it's at, is the stories where you're doing live little clips and things like that all day long. And so if you're afraid to go live, this is your sign, your signal. It's time to get through and pass that fear and go live, right? Because that's where we're heading. I love it. I love it. So, so tell me about building your business with your kids. So what are some of the things, like, because I know a lot of us are in this space of, you know, some of us are dealing with full-time jobs and with kids and all the things. So what were some of the things that you did to get through the days where you were like, I have to do all of these things, but I have to also deal with like the kids and stuff. So how did you sort of manage that time management mindset wise? Like what were the things?
It was really tricky at first. It was, my first challenge was trying to get like the kids a nap at the same time. I call it my nap time hustle. That's when I did all of my IPAs, my income producing activities. So that was like the first hurdle, because somebody's eyes was always open, or somebody needed water or something like that. So, but I knew I had at least probably an hour to do what I really need to do on my laptop. So that's all I had. But during the nooks and crannies, I used to kind of like do time blocking by like 15-minute increments. That's all I had to do, quick things on my phone or on the laptop, you know, to do some advertisements, do some follow-up calls, things like that. So I had to just really be smart about it. And I try to save my evening times, like just for learning and growth. When the kids were sleeping. I was a big person into training and learning. I wanted to learn, absorb as much as I could, because I knew knowledge is power. And since I was totally green to this industry, I really had to invest in myself over and over again, you know, but it was so worth it.
I was gonna say,
as the kids progressed and got older, it just, the pathway just opened up where my mom actually retired. So she was able to watch the little ones for me, and still keep her busy as well while I did my work for at least 4 hours, each day. So that helped tremendously. And then when my youngest one, who was a newborn when she entered kindergarten, I was like a free woman.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I have all this time on my hands now from like 8 to 3. And then that's when I just really hammered down. And I just had all this time to just really focus. No, I take that back. Sometimes you procrastinate a little bit.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, you procrastinate a little bit.
Sometimes the more time you have, the less you get done.
Yes. So that happened for a season of my life, maybe a month or so, but I had to really buckle down. To keep up the numbers and stuff like that. So now they're all in school. My oldest ones, I homeschool them now. So that's another transition I just recently stepped into. So they're homeschooling and I'm teaching them. And I said, well, if I'm able to coach and train female entrepreneurs who are adults, why not I'm able to teach my own kids as well, right? Wow. So sometimes we just underestimate the skills that we have and our abilities, but I said, why not, right?
I love that. And yeah, like, again, what came through my mind was like, no excuses. Like now you finally got them all in school and then you decided to homeschool them. So that's more time, right? So it's like you can homeschool your kids and have 2 businesses. And I know your husband travels and you're still doing it all. So I think that's amazing, and huge shout out to you for that. And so, you've got lots going on. You've got the kids. You've got all the homeschooling stuff like that. What is your biggest tip for staying organized? Like, do you use online software? Are you a paper girl? Like, because I know that's a big question that people struggle with. Is like, how do I keep all this stuff organized? You got
right in here in front of me. I use everything on paper. I have some things like on like my email, like I use like the Google Calendar. I use that too, but this comes with me all the time in my purse. Even the kids, when they want me to do like pick up and drop off or different appointments or things at school, I have it all right here, work and personal stuff right here. It's like they call it like your Bible. It's like everything I need to, it's like mission control right here.
Right. So you're still a paper girl. I find I have to still use paper. I like it in my phone because my phone reminders tell me, because sometimes if it's not on my phone, it doesn't exist. But I still am a paper girl too. There's power of pen to paper.
There is. Yes. I use that all the time.
Now, one of the things I know when we started working together, you had mentioned that you hadn't done a lot of the mindset work until we started working together. So tell me about what you've learned about mindset, and how does the mindset work? How did that apply and change your business? Like, tell us about what you got.
Oh, game changer. So like initially I was all about strategy. What's the strategy to do to market online? How do I do this? All the how-tos. And it wasn't really until that year when I met you, maybe a few months prior to that, I really started learning about like the law of attraction and mindset, and how it really can dictate whether you work or how much you work or not work your business. And then when I found about you, I learned about you on a podcast as well, actually. It was Simon Chan's MLM Nation. Right. So, and then you had your mastermind, so I connected with you. And when I learned really about the in-depth, like how your mindset can really dictate your feelings and in your thoughts, and which ultimately dictates your results. This all makes sense. And not just for me, but I had to share with my team, because sometimes we're all caught up in here, which makes us not actually take that inspired action, because we're so, so I had to really dig deep into that. And even since that time, I've really got more into like meditation, having some quiet time just to kind of listen to myself and trusting my gut on the next moves I need to make within not just my business, but within my life, right? And it really just helped me become more centered and more aligned with the path that I need to go, especially once I launched my second business as well, because I got more on the table, more, things I need to do. So it really helped me stay centered, and I'm grateful for that mindset. And I really wish I dived deeper into that right out the gate.
Yes.
But I'm grateful that it came at that point in time, because that's when I was really going with my coaching business. So
well, and I think that's, especially in the network marketing realm with me, I mean, and I think most of us are the same. We come in and we want to learn the strategy because we want to make the money. We want to sell the products or the service
Right.
or the thing and grow the team. And we're so focused on the how-tos, but we don't realize that we can learn all the how-tos, but if we're not actually implementing them because of our mindset is like fear and scarcity and like, you know, all the things that go on in our heads, that actually stops us from implementing. We can't actually get anywhere. And then that's when our wheels get stuck and we feel like we're not doing anything. And it's like, you got to dig deeper into the whys. You're not like the why you're not doing the things, you know, to make the business grow. And a lot of times it's based out of fears and stories in our head that aren't even true. You know, things that we tell ourselves, you know, oh, we're not good at that, or that person's going to, you know, unfriend me if I message them, or all those things that just aren't real. And then we stop ourselves. So the mindset thing, I think, has to be something that we have to dig into, like you say, right away, you know, in order to be able to, I think, have a successful business. And I think that's where a lot of us discover mindset is through network marketing, because there is so much personal development that happens in this industry, right? So I never picked up a mindset book or a personal development book in my graphic design career. But when I started network marketing, it was all of a sudden like, I got to put myself out there. I got to figure this out, you know?
Yeah, like I remember I was reading like Think and Grow Rich. I think that was the very first book that I picked up. Yeah. And I wasn't even a reader, to be quite honest with you. I didn't have time to read books when I had kids running everywhere with diapers on, or, you know? Yeah. So when I picked that book up, because it was recommended from my sponsor, she said, look at this. So I kind of dabbled in it, you know? Yeah. But I remember reading it again once I started learning more about mindset, because my perspective has changed at that point in time, as versus the first time when I picked it up, and it was just like, yeah, that makes sense. But I wasn't feeling it like the second time, you know?
Yeah. And that's why you have to read things, read books and listen to things multiple times over and over and over again, because every time you listen to it, you hear something different, or your perspective may have changed. And so it sits with you differently. And Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is one of those books that it's like you said, it's like a Bible. It's like, it sits on my back table back here. I reference it all the time. There's so much great stuff in there. And that book was written in the 30s. And all of the concepts that he talks about in that book are very relevant still today. So that's a great book. Any other books that you've read that are some of your favorites?
Oh, there's so many, so many. You know, ever since I really dived into mindset, I have a library of books. So one of my favorite authors is Jen Sincero, and that whole You're a Badass series. And she just launched a new one, like as of last week. You're a badass at everything, or something like that.
Every day.
Every day. I mean, yeah. So I need to get that one. But I read her books like numerous times, you know, and I'm an Audible girl. I like to listen to Audible because I can listen to it, but also like do other things like around the house. Like I really enjoy cooking. I do a lot of cooking for my family. So I'll have that playing while I'm cutting up the dicing tomatoes, or, you know, all of that. So I listen to that sometimes like in the car as I'm driving. And then if I like the book, I'll go ahead and purchase it after. So that's kind of like my thing. Let's see. Get Over Your Damn Self is another good one. I think the author is Rumi. I can't remember the last name.
Yes. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yes. Yeah. Those are two of my favorite ones. That I've read multiple times, but there's so many more that I've read that are just amazing.
and that's the thing. You have to do that personal development. You have to be always working on yourself and your skills and your mindset. And I believe to have success in anything in life, you have to be invest in that. And I'm like you. I do the Audible, and then I buy the hardcover because I got to go in and dog-ear the pages and highlight and find the good stuff that I want to reference.
Oh, one more book good book that I read that was a game changer to just kind of set up my day was The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. That one was amazing, by Hal Elroy, I believe it is. Yes. That really kind of put all the pieces together of how I can kickstart my day, just being a busy mompreneur and pouring into myself first before pouring into others. So that was great. And I highly recommend that for any person who has a home-based business.
Absolutely.
Game changer.
And that's good, you know, in that one for you too. It's like, if you can get that hour in before all the kids get up, and know that you've completed an hour of personal development time, some meditation, whether you do some exercise or whatever, and all of that before the kids even get, put their feet on the floor. It's like, you just feel so great having that all under your belt before, whatever time in the morning that they get up.
Right.
So it's absolutely an awesome thing. So one of the things I want to ask you about too, because as a busy mompreneur, 2 businesses, lots going on, how did you stay organized with your team? Like, how did you keep them motivated? Because, you're trying to do all of these things, but then you're also needing to pour into your team. So what kind of tools and things did you use to communicate with your team, keep them all going and excited? How did you manage that through all of the things that were going on?
Right. Yeah. So I feel like in order to motivate my team and to keep them in the game, I have to be producing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I've always made sure, how like network marketing companies always have like producers lists every month. I want to make sure I'm on the top 10 every single month, because if they see my name there, they see me in the game, they hear me on conference calls and different things, they're going to say, wow, it's like a little reminder. I got to produce as well. So I always try to make sure that I'm producing, bringing on numbers, buying services, joining the team every single month. I had to step up to the plate and host my own type of trainings, because yes, there may be company trainings there, but it's a different thing when your team sees your face and your voice and your twist on how you actually do this marketing strategy or how to promote this new service that was available. So I made sure that I'm always front and center with my family. My team is my family.
Yeah, it's true.
Them, at least once a week, showing up. And make sure I record as well, because I notice over time, after growing my business now for about 6 years, you get same questions over and over again. So if I can just record myself, and then that question comes up again, I have it all like in a catalog, like a library of all the recordings with different questions.
Do you use questions? Where do you so do you SoundCloud for that, or do you store them in like a Facebook group, or?
Yeah, we have a Facebook group. Yeah, I really recently moved into Facebook group, but we also have like a private website too. That'll put all of them there, like webinars and things like that. Yes.
Yeah, I think, and what I love about what Facebook's doing is changing the group formats to be more social learning, like like they have the units and all the things. You can see where we're going in the online social media world, that it's becoming a platform for us to educate ourselves, because you can see those tweaks and changes that things like Facebook are doing, and they're the leaders. So like it's great for us as a business that we can utilize those tools to be able to get trainings and organize things like that for our teams. So making sure that us as leaders are keeping up on those things. So we can utilize them. And I love it. You say like you were always in the top 10, you were always playing the game. And I think what happens sometimes is as we grow our businesses and we get teams and like things start moving along and you're getting this residual income coming in because you've got all these people on your team, we end up benching our best player, which is us. Sometimes people will take themselves out of the game because they feel like they need to go in now and, help all the people in their team. But you never want to bench yourself. You never want to bench your best player, because those people can come and go, right? They're volunteer armies, right? How many people have come and gone from your team in
so many.
Yeah, right. And that's normal. It's okay. It's natural. That happens, which is why you always want to be playing the game, right? And you're going to have seasons where you're doing more playing, maybe seasons where you're doing a little bit less, but you always want to be showing up in the way that you want your team to show up, right?
Right, exactly.
Leading from the front. And also going first. Like that was something else I wrote down earlier when you were chatting about, like, you are the type of leader who will go first. I will go and do this first. I will try this first. I will go check this out first. And if it's successful, and if I like it or whatever, then I can turn around and teach it, right?
Exactly. I've always been that type of person. Like I said, I don't overthink. I just kind of jump in. Yeah, I'll do some research, but I'll jump in and then just run for it, just run.
And then get the results. So what would you say would be some qualities then, speaking on this vein of, if you want to become a leader in this industry, in your profession, in network marketing, whatever company you're with, what would you say would be like top 3 things that you need to do to show up and to be that leader?
Yes. Right. Number 1, I believe you have to be very consistent. It's very easy. Like they always say, the business is easy to do, but it's very easy not to do as well, right? And I think sometimes, since network marketing, just starting a home business, regardless what you're in, it's usually very low investment. So sometimes you can kind of treat it kind of like a hobby. But
Yeah.
if you're really treating it like a business and you're consistent with it, you're going to definitely get better results. So consistency, definitely you have to be determined, I would say, and don't let anything sway you, because there's going to be a lot of times when you have, like, there's a lot of times in a home business, we have up days, down days, and all around days. It's a really emotionally driven business. So you have to kind of keep a even keel, right?
Yeah.
Like you said at one time, don't get too high or get too low, just stay even, still there. But you have to be very determined. And also you need to, I always tell my team that you have to make sure you have a vision of where you're going, because if you have a strong vision of where you're going, the little hurdles that you have to jump over every day is not going to deter you from where you see yourself going at the end of the year, or at the end of the month, or in the next 5 years. So just having a strong vision is very important. In order for you to reap the success that you really deserve for your business.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, the focus. It's like, I always say, it's like your vision almost has to become an obsession, to the sense, not in an unhealthy way, but in a healthy way, where you're, like you said, you're so focused on it, you can almost taste it. And it's like the things that happen around you, it doesn't matter, because you know where you're going and you're getting there no matter what, whether the person quits, the thing cancels, there's no shows or whatever. It sucks in the moment, but it doesn't bother you, because you know where you're going and you're just going to keep moving for it anyway. And consistency, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things that stop people from finding success in this business, is that they're not consistent in the amount that they're working and reaching out in their business, and they get some success, but then they pull off for a couple of weeks and they don't do anything. And then it's all of a sudden like, oh, I've got to restart again, or I've got to do some more asks. But when you take yourself out of the game, it gets even harder to restart each time. Like the longer you take yourself out, the harder it is to kind of restart again. So if you can just be consistent and do a little bit every day, you're never stopping and starting, because that's like the worst thing you can do for yourself, right?
Right.
I love that. So tell us a little bit about what you do now. So you have this coaching business. I want to hear a little bit more about that. So any of our listeners who are on right now, who are like, just like, I've got 2 pages full of notes here of things that you said, who are just loving all of this awesome knowledge and things that you're sharing with us today. Tell us a little bit about your coaching business. How does it work? Where can they find you? All that kind of good stuff.
Sure. Right. So like I mentioned, when I really started to dig deep into learning more, discovering more of me and what I'm about and what I truly like to do, I feel like I found my calling when I stepped into personal branding, because I was able to really share my mission, my message to other moms who are just like me at some point in time, either struggling, trying to figure out where their career paths are, or in their home-based business, but still in that uncomfortable stage, and they're scared to take the leap to the next uncomfortable thing, right? Which is maybe starting to do online marketing and social media and Facebook Lives. So when I developed the coaching business, it really allowed me to kind of help and serve more people who are scratching their heads, just trying to figure it out on their own. So I know a lot of female entrepreneurs who may be in network marketing companies, but not really fully supported like they feel. Sometimes they need that extra hand. And I like to say, I can definitely help them to kind of get more clarity on exactly how to do it the right way without trying to like figure things out on their own, and just help them really build on their personal brand, like leverage their true selves in order to attract more people who are willing to work with them directly. And then from there, buy their products that they have and their services. So just really bringing out the best of women and what they have to offer, instead of just hiding behind company logos and videos and websites that are they're not connected to them, right? So that's when I started the coaching, and it's been amazing so far. I got to meet so many women like outside of my company, and just seeing how different businesses work and understanding how things kind of tie together, and just giving them a different light. Sometimes you just need somebody from the outside, give them a different light on how they can work their business more efficiently, especially when they're juggling family, husbands, all of that, kids, and giving them the confidence as well that sometimes you just need permission from somebody else other than your upline, your sponsor, your friend, to say, yes, you can do this. You got this, girl. Right. So I love that. And it's really fulfilling when I see them actually implement the things I ask them to do, and then seeing them get results. And that to me is very, very meaningful. So
I
I
love
totally
that.
enjoy it.
It is. It's totally fulfilling. Like it's like, I don't know, there's something about, giving somebody some advice and watching them do it and then coming back and they're like, it worked. It's
Yes.
like, yeah, I told you it would, and it's like,
Yes.
and even myself, when working with coaches and mentors that I've worked with, and they've said, oh, Shayna, you need to go and do this. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd go and do it and, be nervous. And then it would work. And then I'd be like, oh, so I get that totally. So where can people find you if they
Sure.
wanted to learn more or check out your stuff?
I'm all over social media. I'm on just about every single social media platform there. But my hub is Facebook and Instagram. So if you were going to find me over on Facebook, it would just be Michelle Shipp with WHAM Solutions. And WHAM is WAHM, which stands for Work at Home Mom Solutions, because I provide solutions for busy mompreneurs who are looking to take success. And then over on Instagram, my handle is at Michelle E. Shipp. So it's SHIPP, like Peter for my last name.
Love that.
So
and
that's
I'll
my
put
primary hubs.
I love that. And I'll put that in the show notes. So if you guys are listening to this and you want to check out all the links, you can check that out at shaynarecker.com. Go to the show notes, and we'll also have that in the iTunes show notes as well. So you can find Michelle easily that way. If you're listening to this on your iPhone, just scroll down into the notes and the links will be there. I love this. So Michelle, if you had to wrap up, if you had one or two tips that you wanted to share for those that, let's put it this way, for those that are in a network marketing company that are thinking about, wanting to build some other online like an online brand or something for themselves, or, in network marketing in general, like what are a couple tips that you would maybe want to offer those people?
Sure. So say that one more time, the question.
So just one or two tips or things for people who are thinking like, maybe I want to start another, stream of income, doing some coaching or something, or maybe, like just as an entrepreneur, what would be some of the, top one or two things that you would offer people to, to explore that or to take a look at that or find success in those things?
Right. So sometimes I feel like we just need to sometimes just sit down and quiet our minds and evaluate where we are in our life and within our career. And if we feel and ask ourselves if we feel true fulfillment with what we're doing here today, and if we can continue seeing ourselves doing the same exact thing years from now, right? And if the answer is yes, continue going with that. But if the answer is maybe not or no, you really have to kind of consistently sit down with say, okay, now what's the next thing, or what is the thing that I'm afraid to do that I think I would like to do, that's kind of calling me. You don't have to worry about all the how am I actually going to do this. Just think about what is it you really would like to do, and then try to focus on that. And then once you notice, when you start focusing on that, more things around you are going to start opening the doors to that exact career path that you want, whatever home business or career path that you want to go. More things are going to come your way that you didn't even know was there until you actually got into alignment with what it is you truly wanted. So I would say just kind of use fear as your compass, listen, quiet your mind, and consistently think about exactly what's the next step in your life, in your business that you want to fulfill, that's going to help you feel better as a person, as a mom, as a woman, as a business owner or aspiring business owner, and just go for it. Because like you always said, we only have one life. And the time is now. So why not make the best of it and just go for it?
I love that. Yeah, you have to listen to the tugs. They're there for a reason. I think when you get those ideas or those thoughts, or on the flip side, if your gut is guiding you and it's like every time you have to go into that office or do that thing and you're feeling sick about it, there's a reason you're feeling that way, and you need to spend some time listening to that and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What do I need to do? What do I need to change? What needs to happen? And so I love that. And you've got to listen to those tugs, quiet your mind, and ask yourself, what do I really want to be doing right now? I love that. Now, what about for the network marketers out there who are just plugging away, trying to make it work? What would you say to them?
Right. So even for network marketers, sometimes there's network marketers who are not even comfortable where they are in their business. Maybe they're not comfortable with the way they're working their business, the way the training was laid out. Maybe they don't even feel aligned with the company, at one point in time, but they feel stuck. So
Yes.
even those type of individuals, you really have to think about to yourself, okay, is the way that I'm working my business today, the way that I feel is going to be most in alignment with the way the trends are going right now, going forward, right? And if not, what can I do? What can I tap into, or who can I connect with that can help me take it to that level that I nearly need to be, that's going to give me the best results for myself? And then maybe you really have to think about, is your company actually in line with what your true passions are, right? It may be, but maybe it may not as well. So you really have to really ask yourselves those questions instead of just kind of being robotic every day, doing the same thing, and then at the end of the day not feeling fulfilled and happy with what you're doing.
So true. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in and I know you and I've talked about this before we jumped on here, is like the whole like lifer thing. Like, it's like, or actually I was talking about this with somebody else actually today. I've had a few conversations today, and it was about like, sometimes, if you're not feeling that alignment and you're with a company, I think sometimes people can feel a lot of heavy guilt around wanting to make a switch or a change. And we keep it super real here on this episode, on this podcast, that if you're not feeling that and you're not in alignment with it anymore, it's okay to make a change. Some people have to go through 1, 2, 3 different companies before they find the one that aligns with them, and then they skyrocket to success, right? And so you have to be honest with yourself and be in alignment with yourself, and trust your gut. And if that's you, know that it's okay. There's always going to be naysayers and people who are going to have their comments and things they're going to want to say about it. And that's going to be there, and that's okay. You have to do what's right for you. You have one life. This is your go around. Make it a good one. It's your choice, right? So I think those are great tips and advice for those who are listening. So I love this. This has been so much fun, Michelle. This has been so super valuable. You guys are going to want to listen to this one a few times, because Michelle has just dropped so many awesome wisdom bombs in this chat today. So I love it. So thank you so much, Michelle. This has been great.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to put all your places and spaces so people can find you in here. And it's just been so great to see you here on the Zoom.
You as well.
And I can't wait to get this episode out there to the world. So thanks again for spending time with us here on Keeping It Real with Shana Record.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks.